Okay, we'll quickly move on. We've got a couple of things to do more this morning, and just as a little bit of a footnote, well, not a footnote, an important note, from my country, United Kingdom, the trade relations with Egypt are very important, and so I'm very pleased to welcome a brief address from a specially appointed trade envoy on behalf of the Prime Minister. So please give a warm welcome to the Right Honourable Sir Geoffrey Donaldson. Thank you.
Good morning, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to join you for this groundbreaking conference, which is the first ever MENA Innovation Summit. And the conference, of course, is, as we've been hearing this morning from our panel discussion, it's all about people. Yesterday, delegates at the summit looked at how ICT can transform education outcomes. And today we're looking at how ICT can help us to be more productive workers and more inclusive societies. The point is not technology itself. The point is what technology can do for us as individuals, as workers and as members of our societies. How technology can help our citizens to manage their lives, to progress at work, to improve their health and well-being, and to connect with friends and family. So I want to talk a little bit this morning about the United Kingdom and about what we have been doing and how we hope to help others to make use of the technology that is available. And like all of the countries represented here at this summit, the United Kingdom has been on a journey in terms of developing our education system. And as a result of that journey, I believe that the United Kingdom is a leader in this area. And I want to share some of our experiences with you. Over the past year, the performance of the United Kingdom's digital tech sector has been world-leading, with British firms attracting more capital than any other European country. The UK's digital tech sector is a shining light, not only in Europe, but also on a global scale. Being outward-focused is one of our greatest strengths. For example, in London, 33% of the tech company customers are based outside the UK. And this compares to 30% in Silicon Valley and 7% in Beijing. So our sector is very much outward-facing. Our strength in technology and innovation is built on the UK's excellence in research and development and creative thinking. And many of the companies who are here at the summit are British companies who have developed new technology, who are leaders in innovation in this field. Our focus in this area has had a direct effect on jobs and on our economy. Between 2014 and 2017, employment in this sector grew by 13%, providing an estimated 2.1 million jobs in the United Kingdom. And those jobs were better paid than the average salary in the UK. In EdTech, for example, the UK has more than 1,200 companies, approximately a quarter of the entire number of such companies in Europe. The UK's EdTech market is expected to reach £3.4 billion by 2021, out of a total of 100 billion in the UK education market, and it is growing at the rate of 22% per year. So this is one of our success stories. In addition to EdTech, we also have strengths in FinTech. More people in the UK work in FinTech than in the FinTech sector in either New York or indeed in Singapore, Hong Kong and Australia combined. The UK also specialises in other areas such as artificial intelligence, the internet, cyber security, GovTech, and in autonomous vehicles. The UK sees digital technology not only as an economic opportunity, but equally, and perhaps more so, as a way of helping to promote greater inclusion in our society. And on my visit this week as UK Trade Envoy, I've been speaking with my Egyptian counterparts about the capacity of this new technology to help open up the education sector, to make education much more accessible to a broader range of people across Egypt. And I believe we can do the same in other countries as well. We want to build a stronger, fairer country for all our citizens in the United Kingdom and to provide economic opportunity for everyone. And I believe that these visions, these objectives are shared by all of you representing your respective countries attending this summit. So how are we building for the future? Beneath these figures that I've shared with you, I want to talk about some of the things that we're doing to make this digital transformation possible. Firstly, we are building the infrastructure in the United Kingdom. We are investing heavily in super-fast broadband, in 4G and 5G mobile internet technologies. Because business have told us that reliable mobile communications is absolutely essential. 80% of our small and medium-sized enterprises now have access to speeds of over 30 megabytes per second, and that's helping them to innovate and to grow as businesses. Secondly, we are helping people to learn digital skills. 1 in 10 adults in the UK has never used the internet. The reasons for this include access, skills, confidence, or motivation. And so we are embedding computer training in schools. We are one of only 5 countries globally that has made computer teaching a compulsory part of our national curriculum. And we're also doing more to make free of charge training available to adults, just as with literacy and numeracy. So we're building this into our community-based education as well. And we're supporting a range of programs to encourage more girls and women to become interested in tech jobs. At present, just 17% of employees in the technology sector are women. And this is just too low, and we want to increase the number of women involved in our tech sector. Thirdly, there is the business environment. We are making sure that we have the right regulations in place. And of course, this means that startups can have access to funding from the UK's world-leading capital markets. In 2015, £1.5 billion of equity finance was invested in the digital technology sector. Fourthly, we are making digital safer. We have established a national cybersecurity centre, and its purpose is to help companies to protect their sensitive data, their information, and to ensure that consumers have the confidence to do business online in our connected world. Fifthly, we as a government are leading the way in making public services available online. If you want a driving license in the UK, if you want to make an appointment with your doctor, if you want to apply for a passport, the quickest and easiest way to do this is online. And today, many people are accessing public services through online digital technology, which means less paper and less post, and it's a much more effective way for government to do business. I want now to speak briefly about the UK and our work here in Egypt, in working with the Egyptian government and in the wider region. Britain has always been a global, outward-looking country, and we value the partnerships that we have with each of your countries. And we are keen to bring to those partnerships the best of our experience and skills, and some of that is on display here at the summit, and I hope you will take time to meet with some of our British companies who are exhibiting in the summit today. In my role as UK Trade Envoy to Egypt, this is my 7th visit to the country as representing the Prime Minister and the government in promoting trade between our two countries and in also promoting investment. I have to say it's a role that I enjoy immensely, and over the last 2 years I've met with many government ministers here in Egypt, and I very much welcome the vision that the government in Egypt has for making education more accessible and more inclusive. To date, as Trade Envoy, I've brought around 100 companies from the UK, new investors who are coming to Egypt, who see the opportunities there are not only in Egypt but in the wider region and the potential to do business. The UK is known for our investments in oil and gas here in Egypt, but we have also seen some great partnerships developing not only in that area but in other sectors as well, and I am keen to see the UK expand its engagement and involvement with Egypt. But more than this, the whole area, the sector of education, is vital for Egypt and for other countries in this region in unlocking the human capital. Egypt has a rapidly expanding population, and that presents a challenge to government. But I believe that the proposals that are being put in place, the plans that are being developed, will help to unlock the human capital here in Egypt. And education is absolutely crucial to that. And I believe that the digital technology that the UK is bringing to the Egyptian market can help to bring about that more inclusive approach to education. The British companies that are exhibiting here, there are 14 out of the 54 companies at this conference, and they include global brands like Cambridge, but also other companies that are developing new and innovative technologies. Companies and firms like Blipit, which helps teachers and students create and share apps to use for learning, and they are with us today, and I hope that you will take time to meet with those companies. Humanware is another UK participant which builds more inclusive education by empowering blind and partially sighted students, and we were hearing from some of our ministers this morning about the work that is being done in their countries to help people with disabilities, and the UK is at the cutting edge of the technology that can help people with disabilities to access education online. So I'm very proud of the examples that are present today with the companies that are exhibiting in this conference. They are good examples of British excellence in education and in innovation, both old and new. I hope that you will take time to meet with the companies that are here and to understand how they can help your country and to explore possible partnerships together. Finally, I want to say that Britain believes that when Europe and the countries in this region prosper, then we all prosper. It is right at the heart of my work as a UK Trade Envoy to help Egypt to become more stable, to become a prosperous and leading nation in this region, to be an exemplar of what can be achieved when we have the kind of innovative approach that we're seeing to areas like education and indeed to healthcare and other sectors as well. That is why I want to open the way to new partnerships between the UK and our business sector with Egypt and with other countries in the region, to take initiatives that invest in the potential of people, because that in the end is what this is really about. We know that the investment in people is the most important investment that any country can make. I want to wish all of you a very successful summit, and I trust that together we can continue to build the strategic partnerships that will enable the UK to work with you, to invest in your people, and especially to invest in the next generation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sir Geoffrey, on behalf of the British government. So without much further ado, before coffee break, I'm going to introduce the next panel. Talking of digital skills, as Sir Geoffrey does there, we're going to how do those digital skills impact on the labour force and entrepreneurs. So if I could welcome Selim Eddé to chair the panel. Selim is the head of public policy and government relations in the MENA region for Google. He's going to be joined by His Excellency Mohammed bin Taliah, who's from the Assistant Director General from the Ministry of Cabinet Affairs and the Future for the United Arab Emirates. Salam Yamout, who's very well known around these parts as the Middle East Director for the Internet Society. Salam. Dr. Shurug Alkhalifa, Dr. Shurug, who is Dean of eLearning and Distance Learning at Princess Nourah bint Abdulrahman University in Saudi Arabia, and Dr. Hossam Osman, who is advisor to the Minister of Communications Information Technology here in Egypt. Dr. Hossam, please take the stage. Please give them a warm welcome. Thank you very much. And Selim, I'm going to hand over to you. If we'll do our best to maybe have coffee break start around about 11:15. Is that okay? Thank you very much. Thank you.
So we have this very important subject to discuss, what we call the big elephant in the room, which is digitization, skills, and jobs, and entrepreneurship. So we're fortunate to have a great panel this morning. Let me put some context and then we'll get right into the questions. The context is that in the MENA region, as we all know, 60% are younger than 25 years old, yet the unemployment figure is in the youth is double the world average, it's 30%. So there is a sense of urgency that this issue needs to be resolved and resolved quickly. Let's say that the participants on the panel, actually the countries you represent or the organization do have this sense of urgency. So let me start with Dr. Shurug from Saudi Arabia, Princess Nourah University, the largest female university in the world. Am I correct in saying so? There are a lot of talk about unemployment and youth, and when it comes to Saudi Arabia, there are a lot of, I would say, myths, but we're fortunate to have you on the panel to talk about the facts, because this helps a lot. Let me start by asking the question about the female participation, the women participation in the workforce. We know that 50% of the Saudi women and the Arab women actually have the right education, but their participation in the workforce is half of that, around 25%. So in terms of Saudi Arabia, what are the facts? When are women, when did they enter the workforce? And what's the future for that?
صباح الخير جميعا. طبعا مشاركة المرأة في سوق العمل في السعودية ما زالت دون المأمول، لكنها تعمل وبدأت الآن مع الرؤية. طبعا احنا خريجين الجامعة في المملكة، خريجين البكالوريوس، 56% منهم نساء، معناته النساء عندهم التأهيل، و85% منهم باحثات عن العمل، فمعناته في رغبة في العمل. فايش المشكله؟ المشكله كانت قطاع او سوق العمل وتقبل المراه. فجت الرؤيه، الحين احنا في وسط تحول كبير في المملكه زي ما قال زميلي الدكتور احمد الثنيان. عندنا تحول وطني والرؤيه رؤيه 2030. هذه الرؤيه قاعده تستهدف المراه بشكل مباشر وغير مباشر. من ضمن الاشياء اللي قاعده تستهدفها طبعا عمل المراه ومشاركتها في التنميه ومشاركتها في الاقتصاد. فلقينا الحين انه الريت حقت دخول المراه في سوق العمل ومعدل مشاركه المراه في سوق العمل قاعد يزيد بشكل مره كبير. يعني الارقام اللي حنشوفها قريبا يعني اكسبوننشال الزياده في مشاركه المراه في سوق العمل. اللي نشوف كمان مع الرؤيه ان تنوع العمل للمراه. من زمان كان قطاع التدريس، قطاع الاشياء المرتبطه بالطفل والاسره هي هي المركز المرأة، يعني أكثر المرأة أكثر النساء يعملون فيها. الحين قطاع الصحي، قطاع الأعمال، قطاع المستشفيات، المالي، التجزئة، حتى أوبر وكريم الحين راح يوظفوا نساء. فالمرأة صارت قاعد يتنوع عملها وقاعد تمسك مناصب قيادية وقاعد تشارك في اتخاذ القرار، كله عن طريق الرؤية. ليش الرؤية قاعدة تسوي طبعا كذا؟ زي ما تفضلت حضرتك في اليوم الأول في المحاضرة حقتك تكلمت عن مشاركة المرأة وكيف بتدعم الاقتصاد في المينا ريجن. أنا متأكدة القائمين على الرؤية كانوا شايفين إنه هذه طاقة كامنة ممكن تستغل بشكل أفضل في مساهمة في الاقتصاد. فالحين المرأة بدأت تدخل من ضمن المبادرات اللي قاعدة تصير. طبعا قيادة المرأة شيء بسيط من ضمن الأشياء، قيادة المرأة للسيارة طبعا شيء بسيط من الأشياء اللي قاعدة تتسوى. في مبادرة ثانية هي المرصد الوطني للمرأة. المرصد الوطني تأسس بمشاركة من جامعة الملك سعود والهيئة العامة للإحصاء ووزارة العمل والتنمية الاجتماعية. هذا المرصد يقيس مشاركة المرأة في التنمية، عنده مؤشر، والمؤشر هذا يعطيك رقم واحد يقول لك وش كثر المرأة قاعدة تساهم في التنمية من الناحية الاقتصادية والتنظيمية والاجتماعية والتعليمية وجميع الجوانب المختلفة. وهذا قاعد الآن تو بدأ، وكل سنة سينشر الرقم هذا ليدل بشكل دقيق بأرقام من هيئة العامة للإحصاء على مشاركة المرأة في التنمية. فإحنا إن شاء الله we're heading there. والوقت اللي أنا عشت فيه غير الوقت اللي عاشت فيه جدتي وأمي وغير الوقت اللي حتعيشه بنتي إن شاء الله.
We will ask you later what kind of car you will be buying.
أيوة أبدأ أدور يعني.
So that really looking forward. But I cannot leave this without asking about the role of technology in helping, because you have a specific situation where the jobs exist and the supply is there in terms of women able and to work. How technology can help establish that link quickly?
التكنولوجي طبعا تساعد في التدريب، تساعد في التعليم والمهارات، الديجيتال سكيلز، how to establish your profile online, how to talk with people online, how to build a profile online. يساعدك في الانتربرنورشيب، يساعدك في البيرسونال، في الكواليتي اوف لايف حقتك. فالاشياء دي كلها بتساعد النساء، والاكسس لها بسيط وسهل ومتوفر، وبتساعد النساء في المناطق النائية. It's a cost effective model للتدريب والتعليم والوصول.
Thank you, Doctor. Ladies first. So Salam is part of heads the Internet Society for the MENA region. I've learned a lot mostly that they work at the intersection of policy, community, and technology. I have a specific question. So we do have in the MENA region this major problem of skills gap. There are jobs that are available, but the supply there of the people who are produced by the education systems, they are not adapted 100% to what the job market requires. Actually, there's an interesting data point. I think in the MENA region we are at 150% according to the INSEAD. 150% attainment in terms of education, yet this is not reflected in the. So what can technology and community and policies do to actually help bridge that skills gap?
So thank you, Selim, for the question. First, I would like to second what the doctor said here about the women issue, but I want to add to it that the problem is not only a lack of women in the workforce, it's a lack of women in technology and engineering and mathematics, in STEM subjects. For some reason, the woman is not, the girl, I should say, because the choice of a career and of a specialization are made at an earlier stage. And at Internet Society, we cater for this gap. By training girls that are about 15 years of age to like engineering and mathematics in order to choose better career. But what I wanted also to say is that the problem of women in engineering or in STEM is not a government problem, is not a private sector problem. It's a society problem. Everything that has to do with taqalid wa thaqafa wa adat, with all the cultural heritage, has to be tackled by the government, by the society together, and by the civil society as well. So this is why we say we at the Internet Society work with everyone in order to achieve, to solve these societal problems. So returning to your question, Selim, about the skills gap, of course, there's 3 levels to the skills gap. First, there's a lack of access. You talked yesterday about the price of connectivity. We think that internet is the internet of opportunities only if it's available to everyone. That means that access has to be available at affordable price. The second condition is the digital skills. This is where also Internet Society, my organization, can help, because by working with our local communities and our chapters, we define what the countries need. For example, we had workshops on internet exchange points in Lebanon and in Jordan, and we had workshops about blockchains in Jordan and in Dubai, etc. So we listen to what the people need as technologies related to the internet, and you're able to provide that capacity building. And the third and last point is the lack of content. So let's say people have access and digital skills. They still will not benefit from the internet if there is not relevant content for them in a language they understand. So these are the 3 fronts we need to work together to solve.
Thank you, Salam. Very clear and concise. Appreciate it. So in these 2 scenarios where the jobs actually exist and you wanted to link job seekers to existing jobs, is technology can help, as we talked about, and also in the skills gap, technology has a very important role to play. However, these 2 scenarios, they make a major assumptions, which is that the job already exists. What if the job does not exist? And actually the data here is quite interesting for the MENA region. The next 5 years, I think 50 million will enter the job market, 50 million. And half of them, they will be looking for new jobs. So who creates the new jobs? And this question to you, Your Excellency Mohammed bin Taliah of the Cabinet Affairs of the Future from the UAE, United Arab Emirates. So who creates the new jobs?
شكرا سليم. أولا يعني creation of new jobs يعني مو بوظيفة الحكومة فقط. نحن كحكومة الرول مالنا الهدف أن نحن نخلق البيئة اللي تسمح للوظائف هاي أنها تكون متواجدة. البرمجة هي لغة المستقبل. والبيانات هو مثل ما نقول نفط المستقبل. نحن اليوم نشتغل أن نبني ثقافة خلق المحتوى الإلكتروني والتطبيقات الإلكترونية والحلول الإلكترونية. هاي الثقافة تنبني في الأجيال الصاعدة اللي موجودة عندنا من المدارس للجامعات حتى بعد الجامعة. اليوم ما في شيء يمنع أن واحد شخص تخرج في خط معين يتغير إلى أن يكون مبرمج أو يكون شخص خبير في مجال التطبيقات الإلكترونية والحلول الإلكترونية. عندنا كذا برنامج اليوم نحن ننسق مع وزارة التربية والجهات المعنية في الدولة أن نخلق برامج في التدريس الابتدائي وحتى في التدريس التعليم العالي. 2 تراكس، خطين. الخط الأول تعريف العام عن بيئة الإنترنت وبيئة مستقبل التكنولوجيا واستخدام الأدوات مثل الذكاء الاصطناعي، مثل البيانات المفتوحة، البيانات الضخمة، وشو هذه المصطلحات شو تعني للفرد في المجتمع إذا كان مش تكنولوجي. لكن بعد في الخط الثاني اللي هو التدريب والتدريس وتطوير الشخص في مجال تطوير البرمجيات. هذا بعد تراك ثاني يكون تقني أكثر للي مهتمين أن يكونوا في هذا المجال. نحن نشوف أن يعني المستقبل العالم الأعمال بيكون مبني بشكل كبير على البرمجيات. فلهذا لازم الكمبيوتر ليترسي والبروجرامينج ليترسي، يعني العلم البرمجيات لازم يكون موجود عند كل فرد في المجتمع.
Thank you, Your Excellency. So, but you said the key word, which is the ecosystem, building an ecosystem to empower people. And we're all relying somehow on the entrepreneurs and to create the new jobs of the future. And in your country, the UAE, you have incredible work done on this front. باختصار, what is it that you're doing for entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship to create the jobs of the future?
نحن في عندنا كذا مبادرة بعد اشتغلنا عليها. واحدة منها أعتقد أن الكل سمع عنها اللي هي المليون مبرمج عربي. which يعني مشكورين جوجل، يعني كانوا من أول الداعمين لهذه المبادرة. الهدف منها أن نحن اليوم نجيب المليون هذيلا اللي ما كان عندهم إمكانيات في البرمجة، نرفعهم ونطلعهم ونخرجهم كمبرمجين. هذه الخطوة الأولى. نحن نبغي العرب يطلعون
مليون 1 مليون
1 مليون. نعم. we have a very good progress in this success stories. وهذه كانت كخطوة أولى. الخطوة الثانية تم إنشاء بتوجيهات صاحب السمو الشيخ محمد بن راشد، تم إنشاء منطقة 2071 هاي area 2071. هي منطقة حاضنة للأعمال الناشئة.
Why 2071?
2071 هي السنة 100 بعد
تأسيس
دولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة. هدفنا أن نحن with the year 2071 we have goals that we want to achieve, and this area will be the launch pad for all projects and all initiatives that will get us to that goal. في الاريا 2071 we incubate innovators، نجيب المبتكرين، الأعمال الناشئة. عندنا الشركات الاستثمارية، عندنا كذا بلو تشيب كومباني، شركات العالمية موجودة متواجدة في الاريا 2071. أولا عندهم مختبرات خاصة فيهم، يتعاونون مع المبتكرين ومع الشركات الناشئة لتطوير حلولهم، وفي نفس الوقت أن يسووا لهم مثل تدريب ويساعدونهم على تطوير حلولهم. فهذه واحدة من المبادرات اللي تم تطبيقها عندنا.
شكرا. Thank you so much. We touched on a very important point, which number of 1 million and scaling. And if we're talking about scaling, I think the country that in the MENA region represents the biggest challenge and opportunity is definitely the host country, Egypt. And Your Excellency, Dr. Osman, Dr. Hossam Osman, our host for the last 3 days. Thank you for hosting us, for the hospitality. The numbers are staggering in Egypt. 100 million, I think, is the demographics, and 20% are between age of 15 to 24. So we're talking about 20 million that are entering the job market or will enter the next decade. Only in Egypt. That is, the number is mind-boggling. 20 million is actually the population of many of the countries in the MENA region. So what are the plans of your ministry and the governments to solve these issues of linking people to existing jobs, upskilling the youth, and most importantly also creating the jobs of the future that do not exist?
Thank you for the kind introduction. Of course, I will start with what you mentioned about the ecosystem. So let's just emphasize what are the guiding principles for such an ecosystem. Of course, the first one is related to the life cycle of technologies being so short nowadays, and it's getting shorter. Second point related to you need to find out the right competencies, and at the same time you need to build capacity in the right way. So find the right one and do it right in one sense. And it's once said that like nowadays, the illiterate is not about knowing how to read and write. It's about knowing how to learn, unlearn, and relearn. I will just make a simple modification, and I will say, digitally learn, unlearn, and relearn. So we need to do
we concur. I'm sure we will concur.
We need to do the digital change. So what about the ecosystem and what the government of Egypt is doing? Like for finding out the right competencies, we have what we call the National Competence Framework. We did an exercise to really detect taxonomy for competencies. What's needed now and what will be needed in the future or in the coming few years. The second point is we need to establish a learning platform across Egypt, nationwide. You mentioned scalability. So you need a nationwide learning platform, like a virtual school or a virtual university. So the approach that we decided to adopt is taking advantage of the internet as an opportunity and learning tool. So to crowdsource authentic, high-quality content. The best way to do it is to partner with the best like MOOC providers online. So what we did after some research, we finally kind of partnered with 3 top MOOCs, and we have an initiative now, what we call the Next Technology Leaders Initiative, or NTL. It's existing on the internet, ntl.gov.eg. And as I mentioned, it's based on partnership with 3 top MOOCs to be able to avail such content, such learning content for free for youngsters in Egypt. So this is not really enough unless you augment this again by nationwide what we call mentoring groups, study groups.
Yes.
So you need to blend with some face-to-face activity. So what we did as well, that we established such a study group led by what we call change agents who know how to mentor and to motivate youngsters to complete the learning experience and finalize the track. If you visit the platform, it's online. We started about 16 months now. We currently have about 1,250 graduates and 1,200 still learning. Of course, these are small, very small numbers for Egypt. And we are looking for 10,000 of Egyptians to join. The advantage is we are really focusing on up-to-date technologies. We are getting such content through the partnership with these 3 MOOCs to get like content prepared by top universities, industry leaders, like the most popular names and so on. This is one part of the ecosystem. The other part is related to partnering with multinationals. So we have what we call like very specialized learning academies. It's of course related to positioning Egypt as a leading hub for outsourcing and offshoring. So we have some private academies, like led by the private sector, to build capacity of Egyptians in certain technologies needed by the job market for outsourcing and offshoring. The other approach that we are adopting is what we call establishing innovation clusters. We partner with the private sector, like it's a kind of 60-40 funding partnership, where we establish innovation clusters in certain geographic scope. Currently, we have one in Upper Egypt and we have one in Alex. They do a lot of things. Of course, they foster innovation and entrepreneurship, but as well, they build capacity of Egyptians to suit the needs of a cluster. When I'm talking about a cluster, I'm talking about a group of industry leaders, SMEs, of course, the university as an anchor, and NGOs. So they work together to come up with what's really needed by them as job profiles to be able to build capacity of Egyptians that will match-make them. Yeah. Last 2 remarks, of course, you know that in Egypt we have 2 important affiliates. We have what we call the ITI, which is the Information Technology Institute, and this is kind of a 9-month extensive program after graduation to do the matchmaking.
Yeah.
And this for IT. A similar one is NTI, National Telecommunication Institute, and do this for telecommunication. These are kind of the three main components of the ecosystem to do the matchmaking.
So, Salam, you wanted to
Yes, I wanted to add to the beautiful initiatives that are done in the UAE and Egypt by the government in partnership with the private sector. But what I wanted to say is to answer also your question about creating the jobs of the future and the massive number of jobs. You talked about 20 million in Egypt. I'm going to talk about 250 million jobs that need to be created by the year 2050, according to the World Bank. So this is massive, right?
Yeah.
So all the beautiful initiatives that are top-down and decided upon, they address the ecosystem, it's true, but it is not enough. The most important component of success in entrepreneurship is the change of mindset. If I think my mother wants me to become a government employee, it's better for me becoming an entrepreneur, I'm going to become a government employee. Mm-hmm. So we need to change the mindsets. There are things that we need to install in our own people. Critical thinking, questioning, dreaming big, having ambitions, believing that I can solve a problem. If these do not exist, then we will not have a thriving ecosystem. And that's why also, you know, I always call on people to work with the civil society, with the people, with the youth, because it's this way that we are really going to build.
Thank you, Salam. Mindset is very important indeed, and to support what you just said, all the studies show clearly that young people still prefer to work for a government. Nothing wrong with that. It's a great job, as we all know. But the priority should actually be shifting towards entrepreneurship and creating those new jobs. And mindset is extremely important. Mindset and scaling. So I would like, because scaling is so important, and would like to go back to Dr. Shurug and talk about the massive challenge you have ahead of you in Saudi Arabia and the sense of urgency. But I must say, in Egypt, UAE, and in Saudi Arabia, there is a sense of urgency that things need to be done and done now. Scaling, how do you look at scaling and mindset in the same
أنا أعتقد الانتربرنورشيب هي أحسن حل للسكيلينج لأنه لما تشجع الناس أو لما تغير المايند سيت وتصير فعلا إنك you start your own business you believe in yourself وإنك تبدأ وعندك فكرة هذه الأشياء اللي you hire other people وتصير الشبكة أكبر زي ما قال سعادة الأستاذ إنه الحكومة ما تقدر تسوي كل شيء الحكومة زي enabler تقدر تخلي الناس تساعدهم تقدر تخليهم بس ما تقدر تغطي كل شيء this is not scalable فأنا أعتقد إنه حتى inviting البزنسز إنها أو تسهيل الأمور على الانتربرنورز والبزنسز وسمول to medium businesses أنا أعتقد هذا هو اللي بيساعدنا في السكيلينج والمايند سيت طبعا أعتقد إنه very important.
And technology can help in scaling, right?
التكنولوجيا مرة تقدر تساعد في السكيلينج في التدريب وفي الأشياء هذه في الوصول وفي
especially in countries where the mobile is everywhere and the newfound power of the individual is and the ability to collaborate, communicate and innovate together. So on this front, let me go back to the digital skills gap, not only the skills gap in general, but the digital skills gap. And there is a nuance in it that there is a differentiation between what we call new tech, this brave new world we live in, how to be online, to stay online and prosper and grow online, and that's the digital skills that are required of the future, for the future, versus the traditional MIS, which Management Information System, which nothing wrong with that, it's great, we need to get them right, but the new jobs will be created through the digital skills. And we've run a study with the Economist Intelligence Unit for the UAE, and would like to challenge you, Your Excellency, a little bit here, because apparently more young people are going towards MIS, not enough towards computer science, pure, hard coding and all that. So what are you doing, especially as, I have to say, in according to ASDA research, the UAE is the #1 country where Arab youth want to go ahead of the US, Germany, and France. So, you have this position where you will everyone wants to be there, but you want to make sure that that digital divide is not too large.
Absolutely. As I mentioned earlier, we're working on the training track in the school and higher education. However, we're looking at innovative ways of creating that capabilities within the people. Sorry, أنا بحاول بالعربي عشان.
It's okay. I think.
اللي سويناه يعني نحن في الفترة اللي طافت سوينا زيارة لمدرسة في باريس اسمها إيكول 42. وياسين ندرس الموديل مالهم، طريقة التعليم عندهم. هي مدرسة ما فيها مدرسين، ما فيها ستاف. المدرسة هي طلاب يعلمون طلاب البرمجة، وتشتغل بكونسبت يسمونه الجيميفيكيشن. You start a game and you don't have to be يعني خريج جامعي أو خريج مدرسة، عادي ممكن أي واحد يدخل ويتعلم البرمجة كلعبة، ويبدأ يدخل من ستيج لآخر إلى يوصل للمرحلة اللي تخرجه وتسمح له أن يكون مبرمج متمرس ويشتغل. وفي يعني لما رحت للزيارة شفت أنا ناس مبرمجين خذوهم شركات كبيرة مثل أبل وجوجل ومايكروسوفت من إيكول 42. هاي ما عندهم شهادة جامعية، عندهم بس إمكانيات برمجة وإكسبيرينس ليفل طالع من اللعبة. وفي منهم سووا ستارت ابس من تقريبا شهر شفت خبر شارين الستارت اب 60 مليون يورو. واحد متخرج هناك، وذا ستوري از هذا كان يشتغل ديليفري جاي فور بيتزا هات يعني which was surprising. يعني طلع من delivery guy ل 60 مليون يوروز company because of a school that did not say يعني أنا ما عندي شهادة جامعية ما أقدر أصير أكون مبرمج. لا، أقدر أكون مبرمج، ليش لا؟ فنحن ياسين نشوف هذا الكونسبت ونبغي نجيبه لدولة الإمارات خاصة وللدول العربية كعامة. إن ليش ما ناخذ نحن الجموع الموجودة ونعلمهم برمجة؟ اللي حاب يبرمج يدخل ويبرمج ويتعلم، وباكر يقدر يا إنه يشتغل أو إنه become an entrepreneur and develop something يعني from scratch. On the other hand نحن شو نسوين بعد؟ عندنا global initiative نسميه الجوف هاك سيريز. الجوف هاك سيريز سيريز في 8 دول في 2018. بدينا الأسبوع اللي فات في الهند في نيو دلهي. نحط challenges تحديات ونطلب من الانتربرنورز الستارت ابس الشركات الناشئة أن يطلعون بحلول يفوز فيها واحد من الفرق في كل دولة. وعقب بيكون في تحدي على الجائزة النهائية في الإمارات في شهر فبراير. الهدف منها أن نحن نشوف شو التشالنجز التحديات الموجودة في الكونتيننتس المختلفة. يعني منها بتكون في الهند، في ساوث أمريكا، في نورث أمريكا. آخر وحدة بتكون في ديسمبر إن شاء الله هني في القاهرة. نشوف التحديات الموجودة في هالدول ونشوف شو الحلول اللي موجودة عند الستارت ابس ونبرز الستارت ابس هذه ونساعدهم أن ينجحون بدل ما نخليهم أنهم
So we'll be watching that space, Your Excellency. I mean, country that has given us the first AI minister in the world, artificial intelligence minister in the world, one of the first, I think one of the first minister of happiness in the world, and you represent the cabinet of the future, so we'll be watching this space very.
يعني إذا تسمح لي أضيف شيء زيادة سليم أخوي. بس obviously نحن كحكومة كل شغلة نحن نسويها is for the happiness of the citizens, happiness of the residents, happiness of tourists who come to the land. فهذا هو الهدف يعني.
So this is a leaf from from the private sector as well, where we all focus on our customers and users, which are definitely the citizens in the case of government. So I have a question actually around maybe to the panel, and I'll start with you, Dr. Osman. Is who is more important? Is it the job seeker or the entrepreneur? It's a leading
Okay.
question, of course.
Yeah, yeah. The job seeker or the entrepreneur. Okay. Like you see, when we see the situation in a country like Egypt, when you try to find or to create job opportunities, you always have three parameters in mind.
Yeah.
One related to suitability of the approach, sustainability, and scalability.
Okay.
Okay? So when you talk about job seeking and entrepreneur, it's kind of, you need to go hand in hand with two approaches. Of course, entrepreneurship and the aspect of the mindset is so essential. And in Egypt, we started recently, finally, some legislation changes to inject the business and entrepreneurship spirit into universities. So we have a recent law about, it's called Incentives for Science, Technology, and Innovation. So finally, Egyptian universities will start taking advantage of commercializing the research outcomes and the patents of professors and researchers and students. And they will be able to run and own incubators and accelerators and so on. So this is a parameter for working with entrepreneurs. But not everybody can be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You need like some talent, some skills, but this is one approach that you really need to take into consideration because, you know, of course, entrepreneurship and SME is related to the economy and can achieve exponential growth. So it's a must in any way. And of course, yesterday, His Excellency Minister of Communication, Minister of Education and Technical Education talked about the transformation in education in Egypt, starting from kindergarten and school years, starting talking about innovation and entrepreneurship in schools and of course then in university. And now a university like Cairo University imposed that you cannot graduate without taking an innovation and entrepreneurship course. So you are pushing, you are fostering, you are encouraging students, but not everybody will be an entrepreneur. But of course you have to do it anyway. The other way is related to helping job seekers.
Yeah.
And again, I see that the idea in this case, not all types of job, you have to put some focus on freelancing jobs.
Okay.
Freelancing itself, it's not really full entrepreneurship, but freelancing is kind of midway. Like I see it as, for Egypt, is a good approach. Like if we are following carefully what Egyptians are doing on freelancing websites, we are see exponential growth in number of Egyptians taking advantage of such sites and doing great businesses. And I think they are getting not bad money out of it through taking advantage of such site. But again, in this case, you need to build the capacity to what's needed to make the needs of freelancing.
Okay.
And in addition, of course, to the usual approaches for creating job opportunity.
Thank you. So the answer is both of them are important, right?
Yes. And adding freelancing.
I have to, the relationship and the role of technology and the role of government, which I would like to end on and very quickly ask a question to the panel. And if you can answer very briefly in less than 30 seconds. If you were in a position to change a policy or enact a new policy that will help change the mindset, we all know, anecdotally we say that nobody in the MENA region will marry his daughter to a plumber. Not that there's anything wrong with a plumber, but that's the mindset. Vocational training is important and entrepreneurship is important and all these things. So if there is one policy that you would like to enact to change mindset and empower technology more, what would it be? I'll start with you, Salam.
The internet is the infrastructure of the digital economy. So my number one mindset change is for us to think global instead of doing our own things only here. For example, when I go to the internet conferences where internet standards and internet operations are discussed, there are nobody from the Middle East. It is time for us to go and participate into the making of the internet and not only of consuming it. For example, by going to the Internet Engineering Task Force meeting or RIPE meetings. That's what I would wish to see more Arabs in the international conferences for making the internet.
Okay, Dr. Shurug.
أنا لو علي أتوقع إنه في المدارس منهم صغار إلى ما يكبروا it's okay to work any job that gives you a living. أنا أعتقد it's a generation. It takes a generation to change a mindset. فإذا غيرت الجنريشن رأي الجنريشن هذا في أي job accepting any kind of job الانتربرنورشيب، الأهمية بالانتربرنورشيب. أعتقد إنه يعني injecting it في الeducation أعتقد أهم شيء.
Thank you. معلم.
يعني أنا من وجهة نظري يعني أن نحن لازم نستفيد من التغير اللي يصير، نحتضنه ونحط النظم اللي تسمح للناس أن يستخدمون التكنولوجيا هاي، بس ناخذ البرايفسي into the picture. برايفسي، نحط القوانين اللازمة للديتا برايفسي عشان الناس يكونون مرتاحين أكثر للتعامل مع هالتكنولوجيا والمستقبل مالها. وبعد changing the system, the education system to allow people to understand أن any job is possible. يعني مو بلازم أننا نركز على الحكومة ولا نركز على قطاع معين.
Thank you. So the idea is that policy and technology can help scale, and whenever we talk scale, we go back to Egypt, our host country. Final word for you, Dr. Osman.
I believe what's most needed is changes to some laws related to finance, to allow alternative forms of financing, especially crowd investing in startups and educational institutes.
Thank you. And I would like to take offline with you discussion about tech reg, which using the platforms, the data to actually help put in place the right policies. Well, thank you very much, John. I think we're done with and the panelists, of course. Maybe a round of applause to the panelists. Thank you very much. And I think there is a video now that will be played.
ये मैं, ये यूसुफ, लंगोटिया यार सी मेरा। लाहौर में हमारे घर के सामने एक बड़ा बाग था। उस बाग का गेट बाबा आदम के ज़माने। रोज शाम को हमने वहाँ पतंगे उड़ानी और उसके बाद जाके यूसुफ के दुकान से झझरिया चुरा के खानी।
झझरिया?
मेरा साहब नमस्ते।
नमस्ते। मेरी पोती मुंबई वाली।
और बेटे क्या हाल चाल है?
की तंग गली फिर से कूदे फांदे, छोटी छोटी मीठी चोरी गांठ लेके बांधे।
हेलो अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
फाजिल स्वीट्स?
हाँ जी। दादाजान, दिल्ली से किसी की कॉल है।
हेलो,
यूसुफ अंकल?
कौन?
जी मैं सुमन बोल रही हूँ दिल्ली से, आपके बचपन के दोस्त बलदेव जी की पोती। याद है बचपन में आप दोनों झझरिया चुरा के खाते थे?
बचपन की तंग गली फिर से कूदे फांदे, छोटी छोटी मीठी चोरी गांठ लेके बांधे। एक पतंग सा उड़ता था परिंदों की तरह, परिंदों की तरह, परिंदों की तरह। एक दौर था मन मन मोर था, एक दौर था मन मन मोर था।
पार्टीशन के वक्त हम रातों रात हिंदुस्तान आ गए।
दादू?
यूसुफ दी बड़ी आजादी।
कागजों की कश्तियों में डूबा रहता था, झांकती खिड़कियों में उलझा रहता था। वो भी क्या दौर था, मन पे न जोर था। एक दौर था मन मन मोर था, एक दौर था मन मन मोर था।
भैया थोड़ा जल्दी।
हाँ जी, कौन? हैप्पी बर्थडे यारा। यूसुफ, यूसुफ वो यूसुफ, मेरे बल्लू।
I wish I could say that this was done on purpose to leave it to your imagination. John, I just would like to just finish with ask Salam to tell us a story about her business cards yesterday. Come on, say, very quickly in 30 seconds, related to this subject.
Same thing that you saw on the video happened yesterday when I arrived to Cairo without my business cards. And I had to I found finally over Google a very small shop that I didn't know was so small. He was the only one who said, okay, I'll give them to you for 300 Egyptian pounds, less than $20, the same day. So yes.
And you got the mug as well.
And I got a gift, a mug with Internet Society written on it, so.
Okay, let's give our panelists a warm welcome. Thank you, Selim.
Thank you.
Okay, I see some people have already entered into the coffees and tea breaks. So we'll have a quick coffee break, but please come back in 10 minutes and we'll begin our next panel session. Bring your coffees, your teas, your cakes, bring them to the tables, and so we can do our best to keep to schedule for 11:35. Thank you very much.